Daniel walked slowly through the thick jungle of Caltrixus 7, his boots sinking slightly into the damp moss beneath him. His mission was simple: study plant and animal life, collect samples, and report back to the research team orbiting the moon. But nothing here felt simple. The trees were huge, their branches twisting like snakes, and strange sounds echoed through the forest every night. His small camp was set near a clear stream. It had a basic shelter, some equipment, and his personal log recorder. Daniel had been on the moon for 5 days now, and he hadn't seen any signs of intelligent life. Just glowing bugs, jumping lizards, and plants that closed like fists when touched. But tonight was different. He sat by his campfire, checking his scanner, when he felt a chill run down his back. Something was watching him. He looked up quickly, shining his flashlight toward the trees. Nothing, just shadows. He waited a few more minutes, then turned back to his scanner. A soft sound like leaves being brushed aside caught his ear. This time, he didn't look. He reached slowly for his small camera and turned it on. He pressed record, then slowly turned his head. There she was, standing at the edge of the trees. Barely visible was a tall figure with glowing yellow eyes. Her body was covered in orange and black stripes like a tiger's, but she stood upright, with strong legs, a long tail, and claws that didn't look raised to strike. She wasn't wearing armor or clothes, just natural fur and strange bracelets made of green crystal. Her face was a mix of feline and human, and her expression showed no anger, just curiosity. Daniel didn't move, he just stared. The alien girl tilted her head slightly, then stepped back into the darkness. Gone. He replayed the video again and again that night. It was real. He wasn't imagining things. She's intelligent, he whispered into his log recorder. Tiger-like tall. Strong. But curious. Not hostile. The next morning, Daniel left food near the edge of the trees. Dried fruit and some water. He stepped back and waited. Hours passed. Nothing happened. But when he returned after sunset, the food was gone. Only the water bottle remained. Same thing happened for the next 3 days. She didn't show herself again, but Daniel knew she was close. Every time he walked through the forest, he could feel eyes on him. He started talking out loud, even if no one answered. "I'm not here to hurt anyone," he said once, "just to learn." On the 4th night, something changed. Daniel was cleaning his scanner near the stream when he heard footsteps, soft but steady. He turned around, and there she was again. Closer this time, her glowing eyes met his, and for a moment, they just looked at each other. Her tail swayed slowly, not like a threat, but like calm movement. Daniel raised one hand, palm up, showing he had no weapons. To his surprise, she took a step closer. Daniel knelt slowly, lowering himself to her height. He didn't speak. He just reached out gently, his hand open. The tiger girl looked at his hand, then at his face. After a long pause, she reached out to Dot when her fingers touched his skin. Both of them gasped. Her black stripes began to glow soft blue at first, then brighter. They moved like light underwater, shifting along her arms and neck. Daniel stared, amazed. "What is this?" he whispered. She pulled her hand back quickly, staring at her glowing stripes. Then she looked at him wide-eyed, confused, but not afraid. Without a word, she turned and ran back into the forest. Daniel sat frozen for minutes, trying to process what just happened. "Her body changed," he said into his log. "Her stripes responded to my touch, like ... energy or emotion. I never seen anything like it?" The next day, Daniel added another plate of food at the edge of the trees. But this time, he added something else, a drawing. He used his tablet to sketch a simple picture of him and her standing together. He left it under a clear plastic sheet with a rock on top. He didn't have to wait long. As the sun set, he saw her again. She stepped out of the forest, walking slowly toward the drawing. She picked it up, looked at it, then looked at him. Daniel stood still, watching her carefully. She didn't run. Instead, she stepped closer. This time she reached out first. When their hands touched again, her stripes changed once more this time turning gold. She didn't pull away. She stared at the colors, then gently touched Daniel's cheek. Curious, he smiled. "You're amazing," he whispered. She didn't understand his words. Something in his voice made her eyes soften. From that moment on, she started visiting more often. Still quiet, still careful, but no longer afraid. Daniel named her Lara. In his mind, though, he had no idea what her real name was. Every time they touched, her stripes changed, colors blue, gold, even soft green. It was like her body could speak through light. He tried scanning her again, this time when she let him. The results made no sense. Her skin had strange particles, something similar to old nanotech, mixed with natural tissue. It reacted strongly to human brainwaves. How is this possible? He asked himself. Was her species designed to connect? With humans? Or were we connected in the past somehow? Lara just tilted her head like she was asking the same question. Daniel didn't have the answers. Not yet. But he knew one thing for sure. His mission had just changed forever. Daniel woke up early the next day, his mind still full of thoughts about Lara. The way her stripes changed colors when he touched her still felt like a dream, but it wasn't a dream. It was real. The scans, the glowing patterns, and her calm reactions proved something deeper was going on. She was not just an animal with stripes, she was someone with a mystery written into her skin. He walked outside his camp and looked toward the trees. The morning was quiet, with soft mist hanging over the forest. Birds with bright feathers sang strange songs. Daniel packed a small bag with fruit, water, and a few simple tools, then began his walk into the jungle. He didn't know where Lara lived, but he hoped she would find him again. After an hour of walking, he saw something new. On a flat stone near a stream, someone had placed a row of shiny blue leaves and arranged them in a perfect circle. It was not something made by accident. Daniel knelt and smiled. "Lara," he whispered. Just then, he heard the soft sound of leaves moving behind him. He turned around and saw her. She stepped out slowly from between the trees, watching him. This time, she wore a necklace made of thin vines and crystals. She looked stronger today, more confident. Daniel stood up and gave a small wave. "Again," he said softly. Lara walked closer and stopped just a few feet away. Daniel held out a small round fruit. She took it and sniffed it carefully before taking a bite. Then she sat down on a rock and looked at him, waiting. Daniel sat too. "I want to learn more about you," he said. He knew she couldn't understand the words, but his tone was kind and steady. He reached for his scanner again and pointed at her arm. She didn't move. When he placed the device near her skin, the screen blinked quickly. Daniel frowned. The results were strange again. Some of her cells reacted like tech, others like living tissue. And whenever his hand got close, her stripes began to shimmer lightly. He placed the scanner down and reached forward, gently touching her wrist. The stripes on her arm turned a soft green, slowly spreading along her side. Her eyes didn't blink. She just watched him quietly. "Why do your stripes do this?" Daniel asked. Lara touched her own arm and looked at the green glow. Then she touched his hand. Her fingers were warm, not sharp or rough. Daniel felt a strange connection, like their thoughts brushed for just a second. He smiled. "It too, don't you?" Suddenly, Lara stood up and looked around, her ears twitching. Her body became tense. She grabbed Daniel's hand and pulled him gently toward the trees. "What is it?" he asked. She didn't answer. She just moved fast and quiet, guiding him deeper into the jungle. They walked quickly, climbing over roots and sliding down slopes. After 10 minutes, they stopped near a large rock wall covered in vines. Lara pushed part of the wall and a hidden door opened. Daniel's eyes widened. They stepped inside a cool, dark cave. Glowing stones lit the walls in blue and purple. Inside there were shaped stone benches, paintings, and carvings. It wasn't just a cave, it was a home. Lara walked over to a corner, where a small stack of crystal tools lay. She picked up a long stick with carvings on it and handed it to Daniel. He turned it over slowly, then looked at the wall behind her. There were drawings, very old, maybe thousands of years old. Daniel stepped closer. One showed a human figure and a tiger-striped alien standing side by side. Both had glowing lights coming from their hands. Another image showed a large starship above them. The one showed what looked like a war, with fire raining from the sky. "This is history," Daniel whispered. "Your people knew humans?" Lara nodded slowly. Daniel felt his heart beat faster. "Your kind was connected to mine. Maybe a long time ago." Lara touched one of the wall symbols. It lit up softly. Then she looked at Daniel again and gently touched his chest. His mind filled with questions. "What happened to that connection?" he asked. "Why did we forget you?" Lara didn't answer. She looked sad for a moment, then sat down and curled her tail around her feet. Daniel sat beside her. After a while, she reached out and placed her hand on his arm. Her stripes turned a deep blue, soft and calming. Suddenly a loud sound echoed. Outside, like something heavy falling through the trees, Lara jumped up and looked toward the cave entrance. Daniel stood too, grabbing his scanner. He checked the screen. "A crash," he said. "A ship, not human." "It's about 2 kilometers from here." Lara growled softly. Daniel looked at her. "Do you know who it is?" She gave a short nod. Body looked tense again. "Bad?" Daniel asked. She nodded again, this time with a flash of red along her arms. They walked outside the cave carefully. Lara led the way, moving quickly but quiet. Daniel followed, trying not to make noise. As they moved through the forest, the sky grew darker. Smoke rose in the distance. When they reached a hill, they saw a tow-damaged alien ship half buried. In trees, it was black and had sharp edges. Daniel recognized the design. "Poachers," he whispered. "They hunt rare species across planets." Lara's body tensed again. Her stripes flashed yellow. They heard voices, alien voices. Daniel counted 4 figures near the ship. They had weapons and wore armor. One of them pointed toward the jungle, and the others started walking that way. "They're searching," Daniel said, "for life." Lara looked at him, then pointed toward the deep woods. She wanted him to go, to run, but Daniel shook his head.
Yes.
"I'm not leaving you." She looked surprised. He stepped forward and gently touched her shoulder. Her stripes turned. "Gold. We're in this together," he said. For the first time, Lara gave a small smile. The wind moved gently through the trees, carrying smoke from the crashed ship. Daniel and Lara crouched behind a thick bush, watching the group of poachers spread out. Their armor was dark red, and their weapons gave off a soft green glow. Looked like they knew how to track. Lara's ears twitched. She listened closely, then pointed toward a narrow trail. Daniel nodded. They moved quickly and quietly through the jungle, staying low. The trail curved around the trees and led to a small ridge. From there, they could see the entire crash site. "They're setting up a camp," Daniel whispered. "They're not leaving soon." Lara narrowed her eyes. Her tail flicked slowly behind her. Her stripes glowed. Faint orange, not danger yet, but close. Daniel pulled out his small scanner again. He checked the data. They have tech strong enough to trap creatures. They haven't scanned the whole forest yet. Lara looked at the screen, then tapped it gently with her claw. Daniel followed her gesture and saw something. Deep under the crash site, the scanner picked up an energy signal, lulled, buried, and large. "What is this?" he whispered. Lara stood up, signaling him to follow. They moved away from the ridge, deeper into the jungle. They walked for an hour before reaching a clearing surrounded by strange plants. At the center, half covered by vines, was a large stone structure. Surface was smooth, and old symbols covered its walls. "A ruin," Daniel said softly. "Maybe connected to your people?" Lara walked toward it slowly. Her hand touched a part of the stone, and it lit up with soft white lines. Daniel's eyes widened. "It's still active," he said. "This place has power." As they stepped inside, a gentle hum filled the air. The room inside was wide and round. In the middle stood a platform with a ring around it. Lara climbed up first, then looked at Daniel and waved him forward. He joined her. When his foot touched the platform, something happened. The lights around the room turned on. Holograms appeared in the air, figures of humans and tiger-striped aliens working side by side. The images moved, showing them building something together, then standing around a tall tree with glowing roots. Lara looked at the holograms and touched one. It zoomed in, showing a human placing his hand on the arm of a striped alien. Just like Daniel and Lara had done, the alien stripes changed color. The hologram froze on that moment. Daniel stared at it. Your species, you were linked with humans, not by chance, but by design. Lara placed her hand over her chest. Then she stepped closer and touched Daniel's chest gently. Her stripes turned deep blue. Bonded, Daniel said softly. That's what this is. A bond. The platform under their feet lit up again. This time a voice filled the room. Not a voice from today, but an old one recorded long ago. It spoke in a mix of sounds and tones, but Daniel's translator caught parts of it. When the bond is formed, light returns. Protectors awaken. Unity shall restore balance. Lara looked at Daniel, eyes wide. Even if she didn't fully understand the words, she felt their meaning. Before they could explore more, the scanner beeped. Daniel checked its movement near the ruins. The poachers, he said. They're coming this way. Lara moved quickly, leading him through a back tunnel. It opened behind a hill, giving them a path to circle around. They ran, jumping over roots and ducking under branches. They reached a small rocky hill and stopped. Below, they saw two poachers scanning the area with a drone. One of them spoke into a device, calling for more backup. Daniel grabbed a handful of stones and started making a plan. He can distract them, lead them away from the ruin. Lara nodded, picking up a long branch and sharpening it with her claw. But before they could move, a sound echoed from behind, another drone. It had spotted them. Run, Daniel shouted. They dashed into the trees with the drone chasing them. It fired a small net, but missed. Daniel threw a stone, hitting the drone's lens and sending it spinning into a tree. Lara and Daniel kept running until they reached a narrow valley. There, they stopped to catch their breath. We can't keep running forever, Daniel said between breaths. We need help. Lara pointed upward to a mountain in the distance. What's there? He asked. She traced a circle in the air with her finger, then drew stripes on her arm. Daniel understood. Your people? More of you? Lara nodded. They began their climb up the rocky path. It was steep, but Lara moved with ease. Daniel followed, slipping a few times but kept going. After an hour, they reached a high ledge. Below it was a wide cave with glowing moss on the ceiling inside. Daniel saw several figures tiger-striped like Lara, but older. Some had white fur. All of them stood as Lara entered. She spoke in soft growls and clicks, and the others listened. Their eyes turned toward Daniel, curious and serious. Daniel stepped forward, raised his hand and said, I come in peace. Lara walked to his side and gently touched his hand. Her stripes turned gold again. The older aliens watched, and one stepped forward, a female with long silver stripes. She touched Daniel's hand too, and her stripes shimmered. Then she spoke a single word, low and clear, bonded. The rest nodded. Daniel realized they understood. This was not the first time it had happened. Maybe it had been long ago, but they remembered. Lara turned to Daniel and gave a soft smile. Home, she said. It was her first human word, Daniel's. Eyes widened. He smiled back. Yes, home. But their moment didn't last long. A loud explosion echoed from below. The poachers had found the ruin. The mountain shook as a loud explosion echoed through the valley. Daniel turned toward the sound, his heart pounding. Thick smoke rose from the direction of the ancient ruin they had left behind. The poachers had found it, or worse, they were trying to destroy it. Lara's body tensed. Her stripes flashed red for the first time. The other tiger-striped aliens growled softly. The silver-striped elder stepped forward and touched the wall of the cave. A piece of it slid open, revealing a hidden path going down the mountainside. Lara looked at Daniel, then pointed toward the ruin. "We can't let them destroy it," Daniel said. "That place has answers. History. Power." The elder gave Lara a nod. Without a word, Lara and Daniel began moving down the secret path, followed by two younger warriors. Each carried carved staffs that glowed slightly. Their faces were serious, silent, ready. As they moved through the forest, Daniel checked his scanner. 3 poacher drones were circling the ruin. The poachers were setting up energy drills machines that could dig deep and extract ancient tech. If those drills reached the core of the ruin, everything would be lost. "We need to stop the drills," Daniel whispered. Lara made a signal with her hand. The group split up. Daniel moved with Lara around the side of the ruin. The smoke made it hard to see, but they kept low. The ground was warm from the blast. Pieces of old stone lay broken around the entrance. From behind a tree, Daniel saw one of the poachers guarding the drill. He held a plasma rifle and scanned the area slowly. Lara tapped Daniel's shoulder and pointed upward. She climbed a tree with smooth speed, then moved across the branches above the guard. Daniel waited, heart pounding. In one sudden move, Lara dropped from the branch and landed on the guard, knocking the weapon from his hands. She growled low, holding him down. Daniel ran forward and tied the guard with strong vines. "One down," he said. The sound of a second drill starting made them hurry. They moved toward the next machine, where 2 more poachers stood talking. Lara signaled again, and the 2 tiger warriors from earlier moved in from the other side. Daniel threw a rock to draw attention. As the poachers turned, the warriors leaped forward, disarming them quickly. Daniel and Lara reached the main drill. It had already broken through the surface and was spinning loudly, throwing sparks. Daniel rushed to the control panel. It was locked with alien tech, but he used his scanner to override the system. Come on. Lara stood beside him, guarding. Then, something strange happened. As Daniel touched the control screen, Lara placed her hand on his shoulder. Her stripes turned gold, then white. The control screen flickered, then opened completely. The system shut down. The drill powered off. Daniel stared at the screen. "Your touch? Your connection to me?" It unlocked it. Lara looked at him and nodded slowly, but they weren't safe yet. From above the ruin, a voice called out through a speaker. "Step away from the core, or we'll open fire." Daniel and Lara turned slowly to see a tall figure walking toward them, one of the poacher commanders. He wore a dark helmet and carried a heavy weapon aimed directly at them. Behind him stood 3 more armed poachers. Daniel raised his hands. Slowly, "We don't want to fight." The commander laughed and walked away. "This tech belongs to us now." Lara stepped in front of Daniel. Her stripes began to glow orange. "Look," Daniel said. "It's ruin, this technology. It's not yours. It belongs to her people. And maybe to both of us." The commander sneered. "Then we'll take both of you too." Before anyone could move, a loud roar echoed from the trees. The elder from the mountain appeared with 5 more warriors. They moved like shadows, surrounding the poachers. The commander raised his weapon, but Lara was faster. She lunged forward, knocking it aside. Daniel grabbed the weapon and threw it away. The warriors closed in, disarming the poachers one by one. The fight was quick and clear. The poachers were not ready for enemies who moved with such speed and unity. The last poacher dropped to his knees. The elder stepped forward, eyes locked on him. Then she spoke in her native tongue, sharp and commanding. The poacher lowered his head. Lara looked at Daniel, her stripes now soft green. "Safe," she whispered. Daniel took a deep breath and smiled. "Yeah, safe." The rest of the day was spent repairing the damage. The warriors worked to cover the ruin with stone again, hiding its light. Daniel helped as much as he could. As the sun set, the elder walked over to Daniel. She held out a small crystal. It glowed faintly. "What is this?" he asked. Lara touched. It then pointed to her chest. "Bond gift," she said. Daniel took the crystal carefully. The moment it touched his skin, it glowed brighter. A soft warmth spread through his hand and into his chest. Lara stepped closer, placing her hand on his again. Her stripes shimmered, changing from gold to blue to violet. "Your kind forgot us," she said slowly, her voice unsure but clear. "But we remember." Daniel looked at her, eyes wide. "Shh. You're learning our language." Lara smiled. "You help Heart understand." They stood together under the glowing trees, no longer strangers. The bond between them had awakened something lost in time. And now, it was just the beginning. The days that followed were calm, but Daniel knew it was only for a short time. The poachers had been driven off, but they were not finished. They would return, maybe with more firepower, more ships, and a stronger plan. They had seen the ruin. The technology and Lara's strange power, they would want it. Daniel sat beside Lara, under a wide tree with glowing leaves. They had returned to the mountain cave, where her people now welcomed him without fear. Some of them even touched his arm gently, watching their own stripes shift color, though. None changed the way Lara's did. Her connection with Daniel was different, special. The others noticed it. Too, Lara looked at him now and pointed to the small crystal he wore around his neck. "Bond strong," she said softly. Daniel nodded. "It's more than strong. I think it's ancient." She placed her hand on his chest again. Her stripes turned light blue, calm and warm. He smiled. "Every time you touch me, it feels like your colors are speaking." Lara tilted her head. "Color, ... speaks feeling." "So blue means peace?" he asked. She nodded. "Gold is joy. Red, ... danger. Green, ... trust." Daniel looked down, and white. She paused for a moment. "White is ... full bond." His eyes widened. "We've only seen that once." "Yes," she said quietly. "Only once, in the ruin." Before Daniel could speak again, a loud beep came from his wrist device. He tapped it and read the message his main research ship in orbit had received. A transmission. A small human vessel had entered Caltrix's 7th space. They were looking for him. "Back up," Daniel whispered. "Earth finally sent someone." Lara leaned closer. "More humans?" "Yes, but I don't know if they're friends. They're strangers who want the ruin like the poachers." Lara's eyes narrowed. "You must go see them." They packed quickly and traveled across the forest using a hidden path. The tiger warriors followed quietly, watching the sky. After 2 hours, they reached the open plains where Daniel had first landed weeks ago. And above it, they saw the ship. A small shuttle had landed. It looked clean, marked with Earth symbols. 3 humans stepped out wearing explorer suits. Daniel stepped forward slowly, raising his hand. "Hello?" The explorers turned. One of them, a tall woman with dark hair, recognized him. "You're alive?" He laughed. "Yeah, more." Then alive, they rushed over. "We lost contact with your team weeks ago. Thought you vanished. Then we picked up an unknown signal and came to check." Lara stepped beside Daniel. The explorers stared. Her striped fur glowed faintly in the sunlight. What is she?" One of them asked. "She's not a what. She's Lara." Daniel said firmly. "She saved my life. Her people have a connection with ours. Something old, maybe forgotten." The tall woman stared at Lara. "Her skin's glowing. Her stripes change color when she touches me," Daniel said. "And only me." "You're saying there's some kind of bond?" She asked. "Yes." Daniel nodded. "And more than that, there's a ruin here. An old place built by both our kinds. We found proof." The explorers exchanged nervous glances. Daniel headquarters might want that tech. This could be huge. Lara stepped back. Slightly, her stripes flickering red. She didn't trust their tone. Daniel stood protectively beside her. "This isn't just tech. It's history. And it belongs to them as much as it belongs to us. Maybe even more." The woman nodded slowly. "Okay, we won't touch anything yet. But we'll need to report this." "I understand," Daniel said. That night, the human explorers stayed near the camp. They kept to themselves, sending messages back to orbit. Daniel stayed close to Lara. She sat beside him under the stars, quiet but thoughtful. "More humans. Will come," she said finally. Yes, he agreed. Some may want to help, others may not. Lara touched his hand. Her stripes turned green. You will protect Ruin? With everything I have, Daniel said. And I'll protect you. 2. Lara looked into his eyes. You understand now. Bond is not only light, it is trust. ... Feeling ... Purpose. Daniel nodded. And I'm part of it now. They sat in silence for a while, the stars above blinking slowly, but far in orbit unknown to them. Another signal had been sent, one picked up by more than just Earth. A different ship, darker and colder, was already on its way. Darkness filled the sky over Caltrix Exa. 7. The stars that usually shined above the jungle were now hidden behind thick clouds. The air was heavy, and even the forest creatures had gone silent. Lara stood at the edge of a cliff, with Daniel beside her. Below them, lights from the human explorers' camp blinked softly, but it was not the peaceful glow of safety. Something had changed. The message Daniel received that morning confirmed an unknown warship had entered orbit. It didn't answer calls, it didn't send any warning, it just appeared. They're not from Earth, Daniel said, scanning the sky again. And they're not poachers either. This is something else. Lara's ears twitched. They come. For the Ruin, Daniel nodded slowly. Yes, they want the power. ... The Bond. Behind them, the elder tiger-striped alien and the other warriors gathered in silence. None of them needed to ask what was happening. They'd seen this before, outsiders. Chasing what they didn't understand, Daniel stepped forward and looked at the group. This time, we don't run. We defend the Ruin. Together. Ada touched his arm. Her stripes turned bright white. Everyone saw it. The elder stepped closer and gave a slow nod. Then she reached into a carved stone and pulled out something hidden. A curved piece of ancient tech, shaped like armor, glowing faintly. She placed it in Lara's hands. Lara turned and looked at Daniel. Bond ... awakens strength. He frowned. What do you mean? She placed the glowing piece against his chest. It wrapped around his body, molding to his shape. A soft pulse ran through it, like a heartbeat. Daniel gasped. What is this? You wear Protector's gift, the elder said in a deep, calm voice. Only one with full bond may use it. The armor activated. Daniel's skin tingled. Suddenly, he felt the forest around him more clearly. The sounds, the energy, even the emotions. He turned to Lara, whose stripes had turned gold and white. You feel it too? He asked. Yes, she whispered. We are one. A loud roar shook the sky. They looked up. Fire streaked across the clouds. The enemy ship had entered the atmosphere, was heading straight for the Ruin. Daniel turned to the others. Move now. The group split into 2 teams. Daniel led one toward the Ruin. Lara led the other around the ridge, setting traps in the trees. The forest itself would be part of their defense. As the enemy ship landed, the ground rumbled. Black-armored figures stepped out. Their suits looked smooth and cold, with no faces visible. They moved like machines, but fought like trained hunters. One of them raised a scanner. Its target confirmed. Ancient tech detected. Prepare for extraction. Daniel stepped into view. Not going to happen. The figure pointed a weapon at him. You are not part of this. Leave. Lara stepped beside him, her stripes glowing like fire and ice. He is part, she said clearly. We protect together. The enemy didn't listen.
Ow.
Before the blast could hit, Daniel raised his hand, and the armor reacted. A glowing shield formed around them, stopping the attack. The enemy paused, surprised. Now, Daniel shouted. From the trees, the tiger warriors leapt down fast and fierce. Their claws struck with precision. Daniel ran forward, the armor glowing brighter with every step. He touched the enemies. Tech, and it shut down. The bond inside him was more than emotion. It was a key. Lara moved with grace and speed, blocking a second blast and knocking down 2 attackers. Her movements were guided by feeling, not just training. The battle was fast, wild, and filled with light. Daniel and Lara fought side by side, never apart. When one of the enemies aimed at a warrior from behind, Daniel jumped in front, the armor flashing. The blast hit, but didn't break through. Lara reached him, her hands glowing. She touched his shoulder. "You are strong. It's only with you," he replied. Soon the enemy began retreating. Their commander, damaged and cornered, shouted one last message. "This is not the end. Others will come." Daniel stepped forward. "Then tell them what happened. Tell them the bond is not a weapon. It's a promise." The ship lifted into the sky, rising slowly, then vanished into the clouds. The forest grew quiet again. Daniel sat beside Lara as the sun rose.
Ow.
The light touched the trees gently. Her stripes now shimmered with calm green and soft blue. "It's over," he whispered. "No," Lara said softly. "It begins."
Ow.
"Her? What begins?" She pointed to the trees, the sky, and the stars above. "Our story." Later, the human explorers returned with peaceful faces. They had seen the battle from afar, and now understood the truth. They helped seal the ruin once more, this time with protection that would last. Daniel stayed. He didn't return to Earth. His place was there among Lara's people, among the forest beside the one whose stripes changed with his touch. Every day he walked the jungle with her. They learned from each other, laughed, explored more ruins, shared more stories, and every time she touched him, her stripes glowed not just with color, but with something deeper, a connection, a bond, one that would never fade.